Welcome, all my fellow Washington brethren and sisters. I am your man and resident Washington football team fan, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on the Washington Football Report. So this is something that we've talked about for quite some time. It's finally coming to fruition. Alex Smith officially activated to the Washington football team's active roster. First time he's practiced with the team fully since the horrific November 2018 injury that we thought was going to derail his career permanently. It's been an amazing journey to this point, and now he's going to get an opportunity to compete for the starting quarterback position going into the 2020 season. We talked about this, and I told you guys, do not discount Alex Smith. JP Finley continued to talk about how, look, this guy isn't going away, and this isn't just a show to just get back here so that everybody can give him a standing ovie. He really wants to play, and he's not going away. And we've heard Ron Rivera talk about Alex Smith and how he's been progressing and how he's looked really good and how he's been impressive. He said the same thing about Dwayne Haskins as well, but I talked about how this is going to be a legitimate competition. And I'm actually excited that we're going to get Dwayne in a situation where he's going to have to prove himself. He's not going to be given anything. It's similar to what he endured at Ohio State when he had to beat out Joe Burrow and others to be the starting quarterback of the Ohio State Buckeyes in his lone season as a starter back in 2017. So this is a situation, or 2018, excuse me. This is a situation that I'm really excited for Dwayne. Dwayne already talked about the prospects of having Alex Smith be healthy, wanting him to get back to the point where he could compete, and looking forward to the challenge. And I think it's good for Dwayne, because if Dwayne can't beat out a 37, 38-year-old Alex Smith who's coming off of a horrific, gruesome injury, if he can't beat him out, then maybe Dwayne isn't the right man for the job in the first place. Dwayne's put in the work. To me, he's the much better physical player at this point. He's got the physical tools. He's got everything that they're looking for. I think he's the much better player at this point of his career. And I think even from a mental standpoint, where Alex may be a little bit sharper because he's a veteran and seen playbooks and been in a number of different offenses and may be able to pick it up a little bit quicker, I think Dwayne has done a tremendous job there as well. And the gap isn't as great as it was, say, a year ago this time. So you've heard Ron Rivera say, hey, Alex has about 75% of the playbook. And he said Dwayne's not that far behind. So to me, all of that means that if the playing field is equal, Dwayne Haskins should still be able to win this job. And I'll take it a step further. This may be one of the rare instances where not having preseason football may actually benefit a guy like Dwayne Haskins here, because what if we did have preseason games and he didn't look good and Alex did look good? You could potentially see a situation where you could have Alex Smith start. But because there are no preseason games, I don't think you're going to see, Alex Smith win this job. I think ultimately this is Dwayne Haskins' team, and this is his opportunity to prove that he is the guy moving forward. And I think he's going to get that opportunity. But make no mistake about it, there is about to be a real competition going on in training camp for the starting quarterback job. But I think when it's all said and done, Ron Rivera is going to make an announcement that Dwayne Haskins is going to be the starting quarterback of the Washington football team in the 2020 season, and hopefully beyond that. So that's great news that Alex has gotten to the point where he can play. We've already voiced our opinion as to whether he should or he shouldn't. That's not for us to decide. This guy has a different mentality. We've seen that already. Good for him. Let's see where this thing goes. But I'm just happy to be able to talk about the fact that this man is healthy enough to be medically cleared by the organization and now practicing on a full-time basis. So that's great news for Alex Smith. He's already the comeback player of the year if he doesn't take a snap, in my estimation. We'll see how that goes. But a couple of side notes before we get out of here. Because of the opening to number 29 now with Darius Geis being released, Kendall Fuller goes back to his old jersey number of 29. And so good to see Fuller back in the number that he once donned once upon a time here in Washington. And so hopefully it'll bring back some of the same play that we got from him the first time around. And also I wanted to bring this up, and this is probably something we'll talk about a little bit more, and we've talked about it previously, but I think it's a real possibility that Antonio Gandy Golden, the Gandhi man, is going to ultimately wind up being your number 2 wide receiver. He's going to get every opportunity to get that job locked up, I think, in camp. And it'll be interesting to see if someone can unseat him. But right now, to me, he's got the inside track as far as I'm concerned of being the number 2 wide receiver. Now, Dontrell Inman just got here. If he can pick up the playbook fast, maybe he can be able to undercut AGG and get in there and be the number 2 receiver opposite of Terry McLaurin. But right now, as far as I'm concerned, I want the young boys to play. I've told you that numerous times. I've talked about I want to see Dwayne play. I want to see all the youngins get out there and get their feet wet. Nothing different here with Antonio Gandy Golden. Want to see the young fella get out there and play. And I think he's going to have the inside track to the number 2 wide receiver position. That's a new battle now that we really weren't talking about all that much, because we thought it was going to be Harmon on one side, McLaurin on the other, and Steven Sims in the slot. Now with the injury to Harmon, I think that number 2 wide receiver spot is up for grabs. And honestly speaking, if Dontrell Inman doesn't come in and make an immediate impact, I don't see anybody else really having a real chance at wrestling that away from AGG. So I think he's got a great opportunity to start and maybe have a bigger impact and a bigger role in this offense than we once imagined going into the season. That's something to keep an eye on, as well as the left tackle position, who's starting out with the first team reps there. That'll be something that you guys should keep your eyes and ears peeled for on Monday when they put on the pads for the first time, or is it Tuesday? One of the 2 days they'll put the pads on for the first time, and it'll be interesting to see who is taking the first team reps with the first team offense at left tackle, at left guard, and we'll start to see where some of these guys are in these positional battles. So until then, I am a Washington football fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Washington spirit will never die. Washington spirit will never fold. Until we meet again, hail to our beloved Washington football team. You guys stay tuned, stay safe, and until next time, you guys take care. We will reconvene at a later date and time. You guys have a good one.